They say silence is peace. But sometimes, silence is a weapon sharper than any blade. The morning my father slammed that file on my desk, I realized I'd spent my whole life mistaking obedience for love. The papers slid across the table, and before I could even breathe, he said it, 800,000. Your sister's mess. You'll fix it. No hesitation. No shame. Just the command of a man who believed family meant ownership. That's when I smiled. Not because I agreed, but because, for the first time in my life, I already knew what came next. 4 hours later, I was at the airport, one suitcase, one passport, and a plan that had taken me half a lifetime to design. My father, Samuel Ross, built his empire from fear. He wore control like a cologne, thick, expensive, impossible to ignore. People worshipped him, but I knew better. I was the clean-up crew. The reliable son. The one who patched every hole, paid every debt, and smiled while doing it. My sister, Lila, was his porcelain doll. Perfect, delicate, and conveniently breakable. Every time she shattered, I was the glue. He used to say, "You're stronger, Eli. That's why you handle things." I thought that was love. Turns out, it was just labor. When I was 17, I overheard him in his office. Lila had overspent again, tuition, designer bags, I don't remember. What I do remember is hearing him say, "I'll handle it. I'll use Eli's college fund." He didn't know I was outside the door. Didn't even glance up. That was the day I stopped being his son and started being his solution. So when he dropped that file on my desk yesterday, same arrogance, same tone, I didn't flinch. The debt was hers, the responsibility was ours, and the signature on every line was his. He'd legally tied it to my name, just like he always had. But what he didn't realize was that I'd been watching. Learning. Every manipulation. Every secret account. Every hidden transaction. He thought he was teaching me loyalty. He was teaching me strategy. That night, while the house slept, I moved everything. Every cent in my account, gone to a place he couldn't touch. Every ledger, every USB, every trace of his empire that ever passed through my hands, boxed, sealed, catalogued. He once told me, always keep records. So I did. By sunrise, the box sat in the middle of my living room. Heavy with proof, tax fraud, shell companies, offshore accounts, falsified signatures. All of it. I taped an envelope to the lid. On it, just 2 words, "For you." At 9:15, I walked out. No note, no explanation, no goodbye. By noon, I was 30,000 feet in the air, watching the city shrink beneath me. The hum of the plane sounded like freedom, and I could picture it, him arriving at my door, knocking once, twice, then harder. His irritation curdling into suspicion. Then spotting the box. Then opening it. He'd expect cash. Instead, he'd find paper. Evidence. And the note on top, "You said I owed you everything I am. So here's everything I know." The messages started an hour later. Missed calls. Voicemails. Rage first, threats, curses, the usual storm. Then silence. Then panic. By evening, headlines bloomed across every screen. Ross Enterprises under investigation. CEO faces fraud allegations. I didn't need to read them. I'd already seen this movie in my head 100 times. The empire he built from fear was cracking, brick by brick, under the weight of his own lies. By sunset, I was on a balcony in Lisbon. The river burned gold in the dying light. He always said power was about control. But standing there, I realized real power is release. Letting go of the hands that hurt you. Letting silence do the talking. People think revenge is fire and fury. But the most devastating kind? It's quiet. It's a locked house, a box on a table, and a man finally hearing the echo of his own voice. With no one left to answer when I turned off my phone that night, I didn't feel guilt. Not even relief. Just peace. And peace, I've learned, is the loudest sound of all. Tell me something, if the person who broke you taught you everything you know, would you ever use their lessons against them?